Yes, everybody, Russ on the West Ham Network. Hope you're safe and well. Happy Thursday. Are we still cold? Yes. Are we not as cold as other places like Canada? Yes, but we're still cold. Hope you're safe and well. I'm actually not just a floating head, as what has been referred to for the last couple of videos yesterday, because I did them in the front room rather than in the Bud and Bunker. But we're back in the Bud and Bunker. It's Thursday. What better thing to do on a Thursday than speculate about people we're not going to sign? Perfect. Let's get in there. Let's see what we got in the chat. Scott says, what a better way. Yeah, exactly. What better way to spend a Thursday than amongst friends talking about players we're never going to sign. 18 days into the January transfer window. Let me just check. Let me just check if we've signed anyone yet. Just bear with. Nope, we haven't signed anyone. Just want to check. Got down to minus 13. Still warmer than it. Yeah, indeed. It's American Scott. His apps for about minus 30, minus 40. Something ridiculous over there. Matt, good morning, afternoon to you. Benny worth 5 to 10 million now after that display at Bristol. We'll talk about Benny Hammer's headlines tonight. With Lyon and Marseille look like coming back in for new bids in terms of the loaned obligation to buy type thing. And apparently West Ham looking for around 23 million euros for him. So they would have probably, was it 21 and a half? I think it was just under 20 in pounds, but in euros was about 21 and a half. So yeah, so I think it's all about the obligation. It's all about the wording now. I don't think you'll ever see him again in a West Ham shirt, to be honest. The whole team, that is worth about 30 million indeed. Afternoon, Mark. Hope you're well. Broja's no. We'll talk about Broja in a bit. His attitude stinks. Alan, evening. I will send that thing at you this weekend. Just above freezing in Kent. Who's we got the sun indeed. Very well. Hope you are well. Essex. God bless us all. Currently 35 hours into. Why are you doing it, bruv? There's nothing off your son. Why? Life's too short, man. Unless you go for an operation. But I don't think you are, because you would have told me. I need to text Dad. Reminds me. I love the fact us communicating on the internet has reminded me to text Dad back, because it's Thursday. And as people know, on a Thursday, my dad texts me once a week on a Thursday. If you reply on a Friday, you're not getting a response back until the following Thursday. Afternoon, Papa Third. Hope you're well. Big danger getting in players Moyes wants when he won't be here next season. Oh, will he? Oh, afternoon, Adam. Bloody cold. It is cold, isn't it? It is cold at the moment. Nobody knows if he'll be here or not. Well, I think the people in the up top know. In all honesty, I'm surprised we've never been linked to Ronaldo. We probably were back in the day, Sporting Lisbon days. We probably were. We were linked with some crazy people. The likes of we did a show about it back in the last transfer window, and it was about retro rumors and players that we went to get. I'll put a link up on, in the community tab, just because it's brilliant. Some of them are like, Petr Cech, Gordon Banks, Neymar, Shevchenko, and many more of Didier Drogba, and those sliding doors moments where we didn't get Didier Drogba, we got Yusuf Sofian instead. There we go. Minus 57 with wind chill, man. Matt, you got your sign. Good on you. Well done, son. Good on you, son. Thank you. Got sunshine, like Liam. Evening, Russ. Only transfer I would see is Benny transfer back to Scotland. Is Moyes back to Scotland at the end of the season? He's finished. 250 quid is all he's worth. I would say some big news about next kit, but I can't say much. Goods, Adam, nice. Let me know. Drop me a text. Interesting looking at rumours, but they are not just there. 90% will be true, but you usually take them as gospel. They do, and you're totally right, Mark. Because and everyone goes, "Oh, we never got blah, blah, blah. Oh, we were linked to him. Were we though?" I said last year we got up to 165 across the summer. After today, we're almost at 60. So we'll see. Super Rusty, good pal, Jim Bob. Brian, Cam Russ hits 200 by not the January, the summer one, more than possible. Particularly there's a new manager in or something like that. It is sunny in Hornchurch. It's always sunny in Hornchurch. I should do a show about that. But it is cold. It's very cold, very brisk. He's getting a new contract, and our shirt sponsors are Comedy Central. Nice. 4 days into replacing a kitchen sink. Somehow the plug sockets have blown. I have no idea what that means. But anyway, in terms of no RCD, no, I don't know. Honestly, I'm crap. I'm the type of person who Joe will say, so my wife will go, that wall needs painting. I'll get a man in. And I'm literally sitting right next to her. And she'll say, I'll get a man in. I'll get Terry in. I'll get Terry to do the dado rail. I don't know. But she wants if her Wi-Fi's down or she wants her phone sorted, Button's the first one she comes to. I like the third kit. Afternoon out, everyone, my friend. Listen while doing a mind-numbingly boring task, like talking about rumours. Keep your amused. I always do. Hit the like button. Can't lie. Apart from going for work, can we all agree that it's too cold to go out? Totally agree. 26 degrees in the car while I'm working him. Nice. We need a complete overhaul. We certainly do. All rumours till we see the Jets. Indeed. Oh my God, there's so many. No operation, mate. All good. Just making dry Jan even more miserable. Honestly, mate, it's just unbelievable. Unbelievable. I couldn't 35 hours. I couldn't last 36 minutes. It's about -6 in Scotland. We buddy, Scotland, lad. I want a third kit with Kudus on it. Russy B can hook me up. Well, we might. Well, we'll have in terms of the channel members draw. Well, for February, we may have some brand new sign stuff from our channel partners, Umbro. They may well be sending us some stuff through. If not, we've got all the fun of the fair, loads of sign stuff getting through. Maybe we'll buy someone a shirt. Maybe. Who knows? It's a big old sink. Anton's in the chat. Nice to see you, bird. My wife always says, I'll get my dad in. Drives me mad. I don't mind. Thank you, Adam. There we go. Good to know. Everyone's talking to each other. Is Ghana kicked out? We're going to talk about that. We can talk about that tomorrow at Hammer's Headlines in terms of what Chris Hughton said in his press conference, that type of thing. You get me. Random retro shirt talk. Remember when we used Jiffy? Indeed, Jiffy condoms. But yes, I will put a link up to that random retros, and maybe we'll do another set. There's loads of people we sort of signed, but we're in the close to signing. You know, like Shevchenko. Shevchenko scored for our reserve team, and we didn't sign him. And Harry decided not to. So there we are, all criticising. You know, Julian Alves, not Moisey, not picking him up. We had Shevchenko in a West Ham shirt scoring a goal, and we never signed him. But it's okay because we got Marco Boogers instead. So that worked out well. Stick a thumb up, Russ. What? I'm not getting my prostate shut just yet. Good man. glad you got it. I hope next year's kit is kind of done with Umbro. Well, we've still got Umbro, hopefully, because Umbro, one of our channel partners, and they're very, very good, and we love them, and they always do some great stuff with us. But I think we've still got Umbro for another year. I think. Yeah, I think next year's the last year. I think. I can't be sure, but I think it is. So we'll see what happens. Loose 99. Yeah, 70%. Good shout. Tactical knowledge, indeed. Does anyone also support a lower league club? Keep an eye out for that. Keep an eye out for the local. Always keep an eye out for the O's, Daggers. AFC Wimbledon, but that's because my brother's involvement in them back in the day. I just like to see Hornchurch do well, same as everyone. I got a retro West Ham shirt, Dagenham Motors on it, sponsored by Pony. Well, it was made by Pony, sponsored by Dagenham Motors. Some of these, I mean, you got like the old Feeler Dr. Martins one. That was a good. That's probably my favourite one. I mean the back. Obviously, I like it. For me, it was the one with Dagenham Motors. It was the same Bukta one, but it was Dagenham Motors one. I like the Alpari one. I thought that was the Adidas one. We had some good kits of Adidas. Yeah, we had some really good kits of Adidas. Do you remember the Adidas that one with when all the players had a shirt and they were meant to post it at the same time in the morning, and the only fucker who did it was Matty Jarvis, and everyone else stitched him up. So he had a picture of him eating his cereal. So funny. There we go. If you had to choose Jesse, Hendo, or Phillips, for me, Jesse. Yeah, Jesse. Betway sponsors. Yeah, it would do. Despite the fact that we've got the bans coming in place, existing contracts are still valid. So there we go. I'm going to start doing some stuff in a minute. Only ever supported one team. FA about the others. Yeah, I mean, as I said, Orient, we used to go see the O's because they had a West Ham season ticket for under 16s for a tenner. So, and I was at Loughton at the time. So myself, brother, we'd all go, and like my stepbrother and his mates and stuff, and it was a tenner. And they always used to do it. So West Ham are home, Orient away, and it always worked. I used to go to Orient when I was a kid, being born in Leytonstone. Not now though. No, I haven't been for years. We went to. I remember going to see what's his name, Pete Shilton's 10,000th game. Or 1,000, yeah, it must be 10,000. Was it 1,000? I don't know, something like that. It was like against Plymouth Argyle. It was win a lot. Afternoon Wazim. You're right. Let's start talking about some rumours. Let's start talking about the stupid ones. Let's get a silly one out of the way. Let's talk about this ridiculous valuation for Broja. Chelsea have come out and said that he's available for £50 million. According to the Daily Mail, they printed in the print edition today that the Hammers are one of several clubs interested in him. We might be interested in him, but not for 50 million quid. Fulham are also monitoring his progress, and Wolves as well. But the £50 million price tag is going to struggle for all of them clubs. For someone who's in an underperforming in a Chelsea side. I mean, 17 appearances for Poch this year, just 617 minutes. And having just 6 of the club's 21 matches. He's got 4 months left in his 4 years left in his contract, and he's done his cruciate ligament in it already, isn't he? So that's going to be a concern for anyone that young and paying that much money for him. I think if he was like half that, I could see it, but no, not for that. They can keep him, not even 50. 20 million. It's sort of a punt, but he's young enough that you'd get your money back as long as his ACL was all right. But yeah, we'll go to. I don't think he will. Absolutely, everyone's leaving, isn't it? I mean, Benzema's coming to the Premier League, isn't he? So it won't be long before we're linked with him. Isn't that good? I won't even spend 10. Most is 8. Well, I suppose we spent £10 million on Jordan Hugill, so that's my starting point. I think 20 million is probably about average for a player. 22 as well. There's still value in there. You could have a golden patch, and you could sell him for 30 million. So anyway, it's not going to happen at that price. 3 out of 10. The worst. I mean, if he was available on loan, maybe I could see that happening, but not a direct sale. And that's all Chelsea really interesting, because they need to balance the books a little bit. Right. Let's talk about this gentleman. We all know him. Should we move on? Because anyway, the Genk defender Mark McKenzie. Apparently, we're interested in signing him, according to Voetbal News. The Belgian news outlet reported yesterday that Hammers face competition from the likes of Everton, Brighton, Leeds, and the Bundesliga for the 24-year-old signature. He's had a good season. He had a strong season last year in Belgium, but his form's dipped this year. What a surprise! We're linked to him. He'll enter. He's still got a season and a half left on his contract. and they're, Genk are keen to keep hold of him at least until the summer, after seeing previous contract extension talks fail to materialise. I mean, it's a link that's come relatively out of nowhere. We know that defenders is an area we need to look at, and I think there's two types of defenders we're going to go with. We're going to go with a defender, if we sell again, a big ticket defender like a Max Kilman, for example, or we still need to get some bodies in. So for me, it's someone. So someone like him. We're going to talk about Carter-Vickers as well, and that type of maybe less than 10 million quid type thing. That's sort of the area we're looking for, I would imagine. But again, we don't necessarily know. I mean, he hasn't played obviously English top flight football, but neither did Kudus, neither did Alvarez, neither did Paqueta. So that sort of idea of Moyes and doesn't have to be Premier League ready. He's not, but he's played over 100 times for Genk. He's going to be entering his final year of his contract, so he could be cheap, like the budgie. And if we pull off a low cost deal for him, I don't see it as a high risk move at all. And it's an area we need to improve in. It's an area we need bodies in as well. And he could do a job. Russy B's rumour rating, the original rumour rating, 6 out of 10 from Russy B. Oh, 6 out of 10. Any news on what we got? Any news on Zagadou? No, it's not going to happen. They're not going to sell him in midway through the season. Bowen and Antonio back soon. They are indeed. 5 out of 10 to Jim Bob. I've had 6. There we go. Again, look, quality. He did. I'll take Jonathan Rowe. I think we all would. Lambert, good having their 123rd. Yeah, with Carlos Bacca. Need to think better than Max Kilman. Who, Ryan? That's that to me is always not digging you out at all, Ryan. But people go, "Oh, we've got to do better than that." Who? Let me know who. You've got 40, 50 million pounds. Say you've got 40 million pounds to spend on a centre back. Who are you getting in? Who would? For me personally, I think Max Kilman ticks a lot of boxes. Left-sided. He's homegrown as well, because that's something you've got to bear in mind as well. He can play very well. He's a captain. He's a leader. I don't think there's, in terms of people available, I don't think there's a lot many who's, and he's 26 as well, so he's still got his best years ahead of him. But let me know. Everyone's talking to each other. We should go for Kimmich. Do you think we'd get Kimmich? There's, that to me makes any sense. He's better off staying at Wolves. He's Ukrainian, isn't he? Max Kilman was at Chelsea before moving to Wolves. So he's homegrown. And by homegrown, you have to basically have played 3 years for a English side before the age of 21. That's basically how it works. So, but Max played at Chelsea. It was at Chelsea Youth, I think, beforehand, before he went across. So, and it was at Fulham and Gillingham, and he was at Chelsea as well. And I swear he was at Chelsea Youth. He was at Fulham, Gillingham, Maidenhead, Marlow. So he's all right for the old. And he played, interestingly, for the England football team. So he can play on the floor as well if he plays a bit of fuzzle. It's not too bad. See, Lee, we're going to talk about that in a minute. Maybe don't know till you try. Indeed, very true. Kilman really expensive. Dawson type must be out there. But then that for me. Would you go for Matip? Okay, fair enough. I personally wouldn't. I think he's done now. But yeah, fair enough. Hardly anyone to mark yesterday. That's why he looked decent. Yeah, he did. Because he was playing on more of a higher line as well. Do you know what I mean? So that's what his game's suited to. He's suited to the high press and not having to backs of the wall defend. If we're playing the backs of the wall defending, you want someone like a Kilman in there, I think, to be honest. But anyway, let's move on like Donkey Kong and talk about another American player. We're moving away, moving up the field, we're moving into the more attacking side. And apparently West Ham are one of numerous clubs who apparently have inquired to Borussia Dortmund over the potential signing of American international star Giovanni Reyna. Once considered one of the hottest properties, one of the hottest up-and-coming prospects in world football. He's been little more than the replacement this year for Dortmund. He's only featured in 12 matches. He hasn't scored a goal, hasn't generated assists, so he's perfect for West Ham. Called all competitions. He started just twice this season, has only played more than a half once. He is apparently, therefore, available for sale with West Ham, considering the prospect of signing him. He's only 21, and he's under contract with Dortmund until 2025. He's determined to leave, and apparently, according to ESPN, he'll cost between 15 and 20 million euros. As I said, the likes of us, Villa, Forest, Wolves are all being associated with the player. But there is a possibility that that he could maybe play outside of still in Europe, outside of the UK, outside of England, with the likes of Marseille, Sevilla, and Real Sociedad, all interested in signing him. I mean, the fact is, someone like Giovanni, he has pretty much his stock since Jadon Sancho signed back on loan at Dortmund. He's gone further, basically. So that's where he's at. What we got here? Right, let's have a look. I wanted him before he went to Arsenal. Joe Worrell. Joe Worrell would be obviously cheaper. You're totally right, Ken. And I think that's what I mean. No disrespect to Joe, but for me, it's either if we sell again, we'd have to bring in someone like a Max Gilman. But actually, I don't think that's going to happen now, because by the time he comes back to the AFCONs, it's not long until the end of the transfer window. And indeed, he may be out there past the transfer window if they get through to the final. It's sort of mid-February, isn't it? So for me, it's going to be paying that sort of £10 million, and Joe Worrell probably about 10 million. So will McKenzie. So will Cameron Carter-Vickers. That's the sort of area I think we can bring in, sort of defensive people. Tanzania rated 21. Is that? I believe it may well be. Yes. He was born to both his parents played in the US, in terms of Claudia Reyna and Danielle Reyna played for the US women's side. Yeah, good to know. Was good. He was a very good player. I thought we were definitely, I'm pretty sure we were linked to him once. How about the guy Craig Dawson? I've heard he's quite good, yeah. Anyway, he does sound a bit like a Ben Rama, exactly, but 21. And so I'll give it 5 out of 10 because it fits the Tim Steidem profile. You know, it's not just the pearls he dies for, but it's players that maybe need a new club. And he's 21, so he's young, and maybe a move, might reinvigorate and might get him to that level that that's been, talked about in terms of him being one of the hottest young properties in football. Let's talk about Cameron. Let's talk about Cameron quickly while we're here. As we know, centre halves is definitely something we're looking at, and I think, one of the ones which we have been linked with is the former Tottenham defender and current Celtic defender, Cameron Carter-Vickers. Apparently us, Brentford as well, and Forest are all keen to put a bid in for the 26-year-old. Obviously, whether he can take the leap up to the Premier League is another thing. But, he's proven himself on an international stage, as well as Scotland. He's won a couple of trophies, a couple of league titles. A lower fee, would that be a lower risk? Again, for me, it's not him going in as a starter, but maybe as third, fourth choice. Could be, maybe, not for Kent. We're not going to. I don't think we're going to get Ernest, but I think we will look at Osman, definitely. No idea why we're considering selling again. I totally agree, but that's what out there. That's what is out in the ethernet, so to speak. So for me, I mean, Russy B, the original win rating, I'm going to give him. I'll give him a 6 out of 10. Now, it's not for me not for me wanting him, but I could see him coming in. He's very much a Moyes type player, he is, and so if we buy players who may be more in the Steindem mold, we always tend to get one of Moyes' people in, and I think he's a low cost, low risk if we get him for so I don't know, 10 million quid or something like that. It's pump money now, isn't it? As I said, £10 million now is pump money, and so I think that's what we could see. I think we should be looking at mid-table champions to hold some gems down there. Well, I think we should. Personally, I mean, we were linked with Cameron Pring in the summer. I'd put a bid in for him. He's a nasty fucker, and I think he'd do really well for us. I think we'd love him. So that's what I would do. GP's another new member. It's on another account. Honestly, I think GP's been a new member about 20 times, but welcome. Welcome to the Barmy West Ham Network Army. Is rumored to be leaving, could be not joining us, or is he looking for a bigger club? He's looking for a bigger club than West Ham, I guarantee that. We need some physical German players. I think we need some physical players. Do you know what I mean? Just need some physical players in my eyes. We're too nice. How much would Ballard cost? Well, he didn't do great, did he, against Newcastle? But that's one game. Oh, pardon me, Windy Pops. I think you're probably looking at, and again, a lot of these clubs, the likes of Sunderland, they have aspirations to get into the Premier League. So for them, it's outweighing how much they could sell Ballard for in comparison, and Jack Clark and people like that, compared to what they'll get if they get promoted. So I'll be surprised if some of them don't go in January, but they'll go in the summer. Get a decent player who plays against he played against lesser opposition. He shouldn't need. That's my point. Yeah, totally right. And I think when he plays, also I think again when he plays in a more progressive style of football, he looks better. No news on Jack. He, as apparently Sunderland are looking to offer him a new deal to maybe quell any talk of that coming of any, and also to protect his value. Was talking to Bristol about Cameron Pring. They said he's the next one out the door. Definitely going forward. That is defensive. That's what they said. I've been impressed with him. I think he's a good player. And so when we were linked to him last year, Kent, I was like, yes, this is who we want. Ronnie Edwards, nothing so far. Nothing has been updated since then. Stop judging players on one match. I've watched him a few times this season. And he's more suited to the low block that Moyes plays. He's strong, aggressive, and not slow. Well, there we go. Thank you very much. Best stay in Germany is the one we need to get ASAP. Says a GP. Right, let's move on like Donkey Kong. Let's talk about Albert. Albert Gudmundsson. We've been linked to the General Star. Apparently, according to Calcio Mercato, we did make a move. We have made a move for him, but it was rejected. And apparently us and Villa have been linked to a move for the Icelandic international. And he's had some very impressive performances this year. He's a very good player. But it looks like so with Juventus, and potentially Albert might prefer to stay in Italy with Juventus. Whatever happens, it's a belief that Genoa will hardly let him go for less than 30 million euros, which should be too much of an issue, really, for us. But I think it's someone that we're probably more likely to go for in the summer rather than in January. He's having a great season for Genoa. Genoa having a good season as well. It's not something I don't say we're not linked with, because I think we are linked to it. Uncle Albert, indeed. But yeah, I think that would be he could be a good person. It's the Uncle Albert twice. You see, too slow, Alex. Russy has given him. I've given him 4 out of 10 just because I just don't think he'll come in just yet. But who knows? The world is a very strange place when it comes to West Ham and transfer news. Juventus decided Thiago. Yes, they have, but Juventus is looking to bring in a couple of players. Same as Lyon. And we're talking about Lyon, Hammer's headlines with Ben Rama. They're just about to sign Gif Orban for 10 million, which is absolutely mental. We should be over that like a rash. We've played against Gift twice, and he has been phenomenal against us. And if it's 11 million quid, that is ridiculous. Why we're not involved in that? Well, we might have been. Apparently, we were linked with him, and we have had conversations about him. But apparently, his preference is to go to France first before making the jump to England. As I said, I think it was Lewis Appendia rather. He did the same thing, leaving Club Brugge. Again, and Zuma are better than Mavropanos. I think Mav had a bad day that day. I think Mav's a better ball player than Zuma. I like again Mav. They're on the games together and they're playing a different style. And yeah, another Albert Luque who flopped at Newcastle. Indeed. But Philippe Albert, he was part of the. He was at West Ham once, for the was it the Anderlecht game last year he was at, because he was doing pitch side interviewing, and I spotted him, and I sent a picture to Chris Skull. He didn't have a fucking clue who he was. I was like, that's Philippe Albert. I went, fuck off. So it was Philippe Albert. So he was at Upton Park, London Stadium rather. Anyway, let's talk about another midfielder we've been linked to, and it's back in the Eredivisie. And it's the PSV Eindhoven midfielder Joey Veerman. Apparently, in fact, it's claimed by Dutch journalist Rick Efflick that West Ham are leading the chase for the 25-year-old signature, alongside Brighton as well. So are we leading it, or are we joint leading it? I don't know. He was quoted saying it has become increasingly notable because of his defensive statistics that makes him interesting for a number of English clubs. I understand that West Ham and Brighton are in the front row. Okay, so we're running together. I know that PSV are working on a contract offer and that things are not going so smoothly, which is an ongoing process. Everyone knows that Veerman wants to make a move next summer. That's fine, and also part of his phase of his career. He's one of the very best football players in the Eredivisie. We could make it a little easier for him by taking that step of not renewing. So it's quite interesting. This whole thing. I mean, he's had this year 27 games at PSV, 5 goals and 12 assists. He's 6'1" as well, so physically he's a big lad. If we do lead the chase for him, then he's a fantastic player. But I just don't know if we are going to invest that amount of money in a position which we're sort of all right for, unless he's coming in. But even if he comes in as another CDM, for that amount of money, we'd have to reshape the whole setup again, because you would play Alvarez and Veerman. I don't know. It's a strange one. I mean, but we never. He's class. He's a class player. Never rated Zuma too slow the way he passes. Yeah, he does. Yes, a great shout. He does pass the ball weird. Now looks a good long term at the back. Just needs to get mistakes. All of our strikers look like they're ones who are very close to being a mistake away from catastrophe. What about that Belgian guy we wanted last year? Can't remember his name. Oh, the old guy. I can see him now. Club Brugge. I can't remember. Philippe would be perfect to play in today's game. Oh yeah, brilliant. He was a class player. We need Coop Myers, just for the name. Yeah, great player, Coop Myers. I mean, as much as I like him, I mean, I'll give it a 6 out of 10 because Eredivisie is an area which we have been quite successfully fishing in. So I could see it, but at the end of the day, I just don't know for the money whether we'll do it. I don't know. I think we've got other fish to fry with our money. Like this guy, Rayan Cherki of Lyon. They're X, and we reported it a while ago, but X reported it yesterday that he's another guy I've been looking at. Some slight concerns over his goal return and current form this year for Lyon, but Lyon have been shit across the board. But as a left winger, he apparently wants to stay at Lyon for the time being. But the club are actively looking at some Hans Van Aert. Yeah, that's it. Thank you. But the club are looking at Benrahma, and so he would take his position. So it might force their hands. He's someone we've looked at, and for me, it's a bit of a direct replacement for Benrahma. And actually, yes, he's very similar to Benrahma. And so I don't know whether we'll have our fingers burnt by getting someone very similar to Saeed. And I can't see this happening. Great player, very skillful, but then so is Benrahma. So, 50-50. I'll give it a Lamar. Straight swap for Benny. Bloke of the same kind he is. But do we really want another Benny? I don't think we do. Ryan doesn't rate him. They've been awful this year. They have. That's why Leon have bought. Well, they're buying Gift Auburn. That's why they want Benrahma. There's also someone else. Was it Dan Juma they're looking at bringing in as well? Need a more direct left wing. And could that direct left wing, Scott, be this gentleman, Antonio Nusa? More of a forward, but can play out on the wings. An exciting forward. Again, someone that we've been linked to, the Club Bruges, forward player, as well as the likes of Chelsea, Arsenal, United. But none of them have appeared to make a move for him in January. Apparently only Brentford and Fulham have been credited with any concrete interest in him this window. Norwegian international. We've apparently watched him a few times, and one that we continue to keep an eye on. Interesting option, Antonio. He's a great player. Could we let one Antonio go and another one come in? Are we showing interest in Conway? No. Gift Auburn, more like gift voucher. Very good. He's lightning quick. Yes, he's very young. He's very raw. Is it fair? I mean, you know as well, Ryan. I mean, is it fair? I mean, I'm trying to find someone to compare him to. Is it fair to compare him to someone like Jonathan Rowe? Very direct, very fast, very quick. I think that's a fair comparison when people think about these players. The fact is, he's a player who's outside of England, which again is it's a little bit random, a little bit left field. So to me, there's slight credence in that. Yeah, I mean, I like him. He's a good player. He's one of those players. I just think he would. I think he would excite a lot of people, just because of the nature of how he plays. Yeah, I mean, I'd like him, but whether he comes is I don't know. 50-50. 50-50. Think it's a case of loans. Moyes out in the summer. I think it's a case of loans, definitely. Thing is better at scoring. He's technically better. Great shout. Yeah, you're right. You are right. I'm just trying to find someone to compare him to, because he's lightning. Maybe sort of a quick version of Jack Clark. Yeah, I'm surprised I was hearing striker targets taking Paqueta and Kudus out. I don't think we will be, unless it's going to be. It's not going to be a forward unless it's a loan deal for a forward. But for me, it's more about this left sort of more wingers. And could it be this guy, Wilfred Gnonto? According to journalist Sasha Tavieri, he has reported that Leeds are expecting a sale of Gnonto to West Ham being the most likely destination. So much so that they have already identified the player they want to replace Gnonto with in Burnley forward Manuel Benson as his replacement. Obviously, last year Leeds were really struggling, and Gnonto was their bright spark. He's direct, he's fast, he gets people off their feet because he regularly beats the fullback with skill and he's got a good pass. His temperament is questionable, but he is a little. I mean, you look at someone like Kudus. I mean, a different type of player, but Kudus is like quite a small fella, but he's built, and Gnonto is he's a big lad. He's sort of a built lad, not big lad. He's not tall. He's only about 5'6", something like that. But he's, I think he was actually was he the smallest player in the Premier League last year? I think I read, or something like that. But do you know what I thought? I think he might be. I think he might be a good one. He's Premier League. He's got Premier League experience. He's young. You could probably get him for 25 million, 20, 25 maybe. Really? 5'9", 5 I suppose everyone else is 6 foot, so he looks smaller. I didn't think he was that tall, but anyway. Jules Earthy's like 5'5". Earthy's not 5'5", is he? Stephen, good afternoon. Hope you're feeling well, mate. Gnonto sounds more likely. I'd agree. I'd take Bergwijn over Gnonto. I don't know if I would. I think I'd prefer Gnonto. Just that, I don't know. Just maybe he's younger and it's about the same money. I'd always go for a younger model, wouldn't we all? For the money. Age over experience. Moise Kean. I'd take Moise Kean on loan. Definitely. If there's an option that he's available for loan, he wants to come to London. We spoke about it yesterday. I think, actually, we could do a lot worse. We could do a lot worse, and we have done a lot worse than Moise Kean in the fact that we played a front three on Tuesday of a side that front three who've not scored this season, a front three who have probably had about 10 shots on target between them, a left winger whose last shot on target was scoring in the Conference League final as a penalty. So there we go. So I think anything's better at the moment. One call from Skolmaka and Gnonto will say no, maybe. He's the bollocks. Ripped us. He did. And more often than not, he does. He's taller than that. Is he? I don't know. 25 overpriced, cost 4 million last year. He did. And we should have bought him then. But that's how it works. That's how the Premier League, levy works. Your experience in the Premier League. That's why we buy players from outside the Premier League and sell them afterwards they played in the Premier League, because that gives them the money. And so, yeah, not so for Bergwijn. I don't want Spurs rejects. I'd love Bryson's Pedro. Yeah, not going to get him, mate. Oh, we should have got him last year. Should have got him, when he was at Watford. I like Gnonto, very skillful. Put an arm around him. Will be a great signing. I tend to agree. I think he could be a really good signing for us. And the fan base would love him because he's just, in terms of Bowen, we love Bowen because he's pacey and he's fast and he's quick. And we love Kudus because he's pacey and fast and quick. And Gnonto is pacey and fast and quick. I just think he'd be a good player. I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10, which is, I think, one of my highest scores to this week. Gnonto has no end products. We already played with Alvarez. But he ain't played with the rest of them. Pages are saying he's 5'7", 5'9". Rowe for me, more suited to Moisaurus. Can't see Gnonto joining. 1 goal. That's 1 goal more than Danny Ings, mate. That's 1 more goal than Ben Rama. That's 1 more goal than Willie than Cornet, isn't it? Think I'd take a punt on Jack Clark or Smith Rowe with Flush of Crash. Smith Rowe is someone we've looked at. I know that. I think X mentioned it the other day. Again, on loan, definitely I could see something like that happening. Moise Kean, another old rumour. Don't see it myself. 1 goal, 1 assist. Well, again, it's 1 more goal than Danny Ings. Not convinced by Gnonto. Looks like another Benny to me. Bad decision making. 10 minutes. Still very young though, isn't he? Stats are almost identical to Bowen when we signed him. I agree. I think he's a good. But he hasn't got the pace, does he? He doesn't have the pace of a. He's not as quick. He's more skillful. I mean, they call him the. What did they call him? The something Grealish. The something Grealish they always called him. So Bob would be decent on loan. Not going to get him on loan, Ryan, are we, to be honest? Morgan with 23. Obviously in and out with Swansea. They went to Plymouth, had a good season with Plymouth. Yeah, possibly. We spoke about him yesterday. If Benny would attack the goal, he'd be a £40 million player. Lucky to get £20. Or what do you mean 20 million? But anyway. Yes, so Look, we'll see what happens, mate. We'll see what happens. Anyway, that's where we're up to now. So, more importantly, you're all asking. There's the list. Almost 60. Almost up to 60 now. We're getting there. We're getting there, mate. It is getting nice and close. Nice and close. But we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens. Again, 12 days to go. Haven't signed anyone. Yep. Yeah, you mentioned that, Adam, the other day, wasn't it? Yeah. He would be good on loan. That this is almost as Russy's with it. No, it's not. It's like a butter mushroom, mate. Getting close. There is a lot of. I mean, I haven't really spoken about Calvin Phillips because we've spoken about him before. I think there is. I think there is something in that. I think there is. I can't see how it works personally because the same way as we were talking about some of the other midfielders. And if you're paying a lot of wages on him, he'll be forced to play. Is it a double pivot? Are we going to try it? But then that to me just means we're going to be less exciting, but less entertaining because we're going to play Phillips in there. It'd be a short-term loan. I think it's up to City to reduce their asking price for it. But I don't know. I don't know how I feel. Yeah, I mean, look, I agree. Phillips and Alvarez, a fit Phillips and Alvarez sitting in front would be an amazing, but you're thinking, okay, so he would still play Paquetá, he'll still play Bowen, you still play Kudus, and then you'll play 1, 4, 5, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then you'd play one of JWP or Souček. Don't know. Listening with phone in pocket. That's impressive. Has he got like some massive ear? Anyway, as I make my way out, say the players' names, please, with regards to answering the comments. I gotta keep getting my hands. Okay, sorry. I will do. Well, I'm just about to finish. Question: when do you see us getting our first play for the door? No idea. This weekend? Why not? Smith Rowe will be a class signing. I know there'll be no chance in that. Also, good banter. You can take Jadon Sancho off. We know people have left, but those who we've been linked to. Russ, have you looked at Mumba, the right back at Plymouth? It'd be good for us. I haven't looked at him. We haven't been linked to him. You look at the players, and then that's your job, Ken. My thing is as soon as they're linked, I then look at them. Yep, okay. What else we got? 7 million they want, but they want the people to actually play the full payment for him in terms of his wages, and no one's going to do that. See what the money back for Phillips. 50 million. Yep. I don't know about Phillips. So big 6 cast-offs ever do big Jesse Lingard. He worked well for us, didn't he? Just know Phillips will get injured, not worth the money. JWP or Souček to be benchers indeed. Phillips may be better than Souček in midfield. I mean, yeah. I mean, the trouble is, if you did that, you would lose the obviously heights that Thomas Souček does. And as I said, he scored 8 goals this season. He's now in our top 10 Premier League all-time goal scorers of all time. So that's a consideration. You'd miss maybe JWP's sort of passing in terms of his free kicks. They haven't been great recently. Not too bad against Bristol City. We could have scored a couple off the back of them. But for me, it's having someone who can just. I mean, a Phillips would be really useful, because Alvarez will get another suspension before we finish this season. Alvarez will pick up another injury, and we could actually play a double pivot of Alvarez and Phillips, which would be fucking impressive. Would be, you're not going to get through that. Moyes is always again. He's a hard-on player. He's one of Moyes' hard-on players. He's always had a hard-on for Phillips. He wanted Phillips and Rice last year together, but by saying he wanted Phillips and Rice together, that to me shows that it would be Souček that we should place, not JWP. Anyway, must do a deal to do Phillips if City are interested in Paqueta. Bring me Osman. I think we will. What's the name? I think we will put a bid in for Osman before now. Who is next? An Oompa Loompa. Won't pass the Moyes height test. Can you sign Charlie from Hammer's chat? Charlie's well okay over there, mate. I don't think we would be less entertaining with Phillips. Moyes just needs to have Souček on the bench. We won't get Phillips. Stein is more astute than that. Phillips would help us more defensively. As cannot do anything. I agree. If you just be having an upgrade to our bench, the quality that comes off it is woeful. I mean, you're right. If you get a Phillips in and that takes a Souček or a JWP onto the bench, that improves our bench. I mean, the fact is, I mean, it's the same narrative. It seems we have every bloody, Phillips needs some game time if he wants to get in the England squad. He's got the Euros. And he's sort of on the peripherals. If he had a good 4 or 5 months, then he's likely to be picked to the Euro squad. Simple. Is he going to get it at City? No. Man City are letting him go, are happy for him to go. So, yeah. Who would I rather have, Phillips or Broja? I'd rather have Phillips. Obviously, totally different players, but I'd rather have him because it means that you can then, play Paqueta in a more 10 role. You can give him more license to roam. I think it'll be better. I think Broja, come next month, after the Bournemouth game, we could have everyone back easily. So actually, a forward would be useful, but only in terms of improving what we've got on the bench. Fullbacks can wait till summer. We need a left. Yeah, I totally agree with that, Garino. I think that would be my 3 now. Now we're getting that close. Some sort of forward role. We do need a CDM and we need a centre back. And I would be happy personally if again isn't sold. I'd be happy for us to go out and buy someone like Joe Worrell, or even Carter-Vickers, someone that sort of £10 million mark as a centre back. CDM, I'd happily go to Nice and get the guy, get Pablo there, or someone like Phillips maybe on loan. I don't mind that, and then spend a sizable bit of money on Ben Rama's replacement. Whether it is a Bergwijn, whether it is a Gnonto, something like that, those 3, bang, bang. I would be quite happy with that. Straight away, that improves our bench as well. And then once that's done, we'll then let Callum go out on loan, Mbama go out on loan, and yeah, that to me would be good. His injury record, perfect. Well, it hasn't been too bad recently, but it seemed, it seemed previously as soon as he got to a point where he was going to be ready to go, he gets injured. Can't pass, which is a disaster for a Premier League player. Goals will win games, though. You're totally right, though. It does. He's better than Souček and would be a decent player to sub on. But he wouldn't sub him on. He'd have to start, wouldn't he? Or slated to be Soufal. Nothing at the moment. Still pissed off, I think. Still pissed off. So, yeah, nothing much. So we still got for another year because we extended his contract. I hope Johnson stays. I do too. Because actually, I think his last couple of games had a really good couple of games for us. I'd like to see Rowe, though, as he's a great younger player. Yeah, I think it's... I mean, I can't see any of the top decentish championship sides getting rid of their players. That's why I can see maybe Whittaker being any of those more likely to go, because Plymouth are pretty much floundering in the bottom of the championship, where the others have got a chance of going up. And obviously with Rowe, if you sold him for £20 million, you're going to get 100, 150 million, £200 million by getting promoted. So yeah, no to Broja, see how hard to come back from indeed. Soufal is awful. I think if again he's sold, the replacement has to be left-footed. I want him to stay. I agree, Damien. As I said, I think if we do sell him, the replacement will be Matt Skillman. That's what it'll be. left-sided, centre half, 26, Premier League experience, captain, 40 million is yours. That's what they basically said. So we'll see. Any more news, Antonio? None at the moment. None that we're aware of. I think he'll probably be back maybe after the Bournemouth game. Maybe. But wait and see. Hopefully we'll have Bowen back. We'll find out tomorrow. Dave Moyes' press conference in terms of all that stuff, in terms of whether Bowen can feature against Sheffield United on the weekend. And anything else until that time. Hammer's headlines later on. Talk about Ghana, all that type of stuff. And we'll talk about some people leaving and all the fun of the fair. So until next time, take care, stay safe, stay warm, stay humble, keep the faith. Don't forget to give it a little like, peeps. Thank you very, very much. Very appreciative. And if you're new around here, don't forget to give us a little subscribe as well. Be all good. We've got some interesting stuff coming up in the next couple of weeks as well, with some new people coming on as well. So take care, and I will see you soon. Much love. Come on, you irons.